Welcome to Witchcraft, Texas style. My name is Liz, and in today's lovely episode, we will cover 7 archetypes of God and Goddess. I wanted to go ahead and take some time and just talk about something that has been heavy in my heart. Well, it has been. It's been a thought on and off. I don't know if anybody else knows, but Tina Turner did pass away. For me, it was kind of hard because I did look up to Tina Turner as a role model. If you haven't gotten a chance to see the movie What's Love Got to Do with It, I would personally suggest to watch it. It is free on Tubi. I'm not trying to plug them in or anything, but it is free on there. It does have ads, so there's that downfall. Overall, it is a very good movie, and Tina, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but you will see where Tina Turner got a lot of her strength from, her resilience, and why I feel that she's a role model for me. One of my many role models. Believe me, I have a lot of role models. Things happen in life, and sometimes we can't control them, but we can control what we do and how we react to these things and how long we continue to let them go on. And it's going to sound kind of redundant to say this, but pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. So pain is going to happen in life regardless, but suffering is optional. Today I got up this morning and I thought to myself, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 10 plus things, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Unfortunately, I didn't really take into consideration that I already had said that 3 days ago, and that I also had things to do from 3 days ago. It's not that I'm procrastinating too much. Part of it is just me, that I'm having a hard time with tasks and things to do. So I'm really trying really hard to organize myself and to put myself in a position where I put things first that need to be put first instead of doing the opposite. For some people, life is easy, and for others it's not. And for the people that, if your life isn't easy, I'm here and I know how hard it can be. And sometimes that is my worry, that I won't be able to finish, or I'll be able to start something but not finish it. So we're going to go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and take a little pause with the music, and we'll be right back. The 7 archetypes of Goddess and God, according to the Korean tradition. Okay, so when we talk about the 7 aspects of Goddess and God, we are talking about the following: the maiden, the mother, and the crone, which will also remind you, yes, again, of the triple goddess. The maiden, the young one, the mother, the nurturer, and then the crone, which would be the elder. Now, with the God aspects, it is going to be the king and sorcerer archetypes, which are also considered to be called the wildfather, and then hero and lover archetypes are considered sacred son. So let's go ahead and dive into the maiden. So what is the maiden? So the maiden is the young goddess of spring and new beginnings. She is the goddess of the dawn, of youth and fresh potential. The maiden is the goddess of art and creativity and self-expression, of beauty, intelligence, and skill. The maiden is manifest in action and self-confidence, exploration, and discovery. So she is all about starting new, basically, kind of like your tarot card, the Fool, not being so much a fool, but a risk taker, just somebody that is starting, new beginnings. I'm going to say for women that might be between the ages of I'm going to say before you start getting your period. So maybe somewhere between 9 to 11. I'm going to consider those like maiden, although it should be later. But nowadays I've noticed that a lot of girls start coming into their period a lot earlier. And I don't know what that has to do. That would be a whole different another episode to go into. But that's what I feel like it is. So, an example of a maiden is going to be, in German, Freya. She's considered maiden. In Greek, it would be Aphrodite. Egyptian, Hathor. Hindu, Durga. And in Irish, Bridget would be considered the maiden aspect of that side. So the mother is the goddess in her aspect as a sustainer of the universe. She is the goddess of motherhood, of nurturing, providence. The universe is her child, and she loves and cares for it, providing it with inexhaustible resources from within herself, even as a mother nurses her infant from the lactations of her own body. Infinitely loving and compassionate, the mother goddess is a never-ending source of bounty for those who are open to her gifts. Again, the mother aspect, the name says it all. So to be a mother is not just to be a mother to your children. It can also be taken metaphorically. For example, if you are a garden witch, nature witch, a green witch, then your babies would be considered your garden, because you nurture that garden, you take care of that garden. You can even be a nurturer, a mother type to nieces and nephews, other children, of whatever children you may pass to other animals, a nurturer. So sometimes I feel like that mother term can be actually cross-used in different ways too, not just in that way. So you're a nurturer, you're a mother, you are there to provide these never-ending sources of bounty. So breast milk comes from mom, or from a mother type, nurturing type entity. So that would be something that you would definitely see in a nurturer. And by those who are open to her gifts, meaning that sometimes people can be quite shut down to certain things. That's why we have that whole thing spiritually where you open your third eye. You can kind of see these things for what they are in life. And honestly, a lot of this world is actually is lacking a lot of mothering. So I'm going to say that not to be mean or not to put anybody down, but I feel like we have lost our respect for our mother, and it's gone. By losing respect, I mean, I'm not talking about like people that have bad relationships with their parents. I'm mostly speaking in regard to taking things for granted. Like, you're not open to her gifts. So, you're taking these things for granted. And there's a lot of people that tend to do that. So an example of mother in our German would be Frigga. In Greek, it would be Hera. Roman, it would be Juno. In African, it would be Yamaya. Egyptian, Isis. And in Hindu, it would be Lakshmi, which Lakshmi is somebody that I'm working with right now at the moment. So the crone represents the goddess in her aspect as elder. The crone is the wise woman, the witch, the matriarch, The crone is the goddess of death and magic and the spirit realm. And in the spirit realm, she is the goddess of wisdom, visions, guidance. Hers is the height of spiritual power, for she is a great sorceress who creates her will through magic. Goddess of transformation, the crone is the destroyer who dissolves outmolded forms, allowing new growth to occur. So this is in nature where everything kind of balances itself out. She is the elder. She has seen it all. She has seen in her lifetime what it is. She is the one that you would go to for guidance, to if you are stuck in a place, in a position where you banishing something, letting it go, and also for that new, when you banish something, of course, something new will come automatically. That's just, it happens. It happens in nature. It happens in life. You lose a friend, you gain a friend. I mean, I don't know, you lose a phone, you get a phone. It all kind of has its place. And the crone would be who you would go to for that guidance and wisdom. And an example, in the Irish, the crone would be the Morgan. In German, it would be Hela. In Greek, it would be Hecate. In African, it would be Oya. And in Hindu, it would be Kali. So let's go ahead and move on to the Wildfather, the king and the sorcerer archetypes. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go. The king is a god of harvest, abundance, benevolence, and the keeper of time. His concerns are of this world and all that is in it. In Witchcraft, he is the Lord of Plenty, also called Abundance, and is considered a primal power and light twin to the dark wildness power. Correllian tradition also considers him such a twin, but groups both of the older male archetypes into the dark aspect of the year. The sorcerer, Witchcraft's primal power, wildness, is the lord of the other world, leader of the wild hunt, god of crossroads, travel, and death. He is the aspect of deity that is the most often represented with horns and antlers. In ancient times, gods fitting that description were also gods of abundance and riches, indicating that the archetypes of king and sorcerer are indeed two sides of the same coin. Okay, so for our king and sorcerer archetypes, it is basically, he is abundance, he is harvest, he is primal power, he is the light twin to the dark. So he is your balance. Same coin, he is your balance. So for him, if the king and sorcerer archetypes, let's go ahead and go into king first. So we're going to go ahead in German. The king would be considered under Thor. In Greek, it would be Zeus. In Roman, it would be Jupiter. And in African, it would be Obatala. And in Hindu, it'd be Brahma. Okay? And the sorcerer for German would be Odin. Makes sense, his father. For Greek, it'd be Pluto. Roman, it would be Saturn. For Egyptian, Osiris. And for Hindu, Shiva. Let's go ahead and move on to the sacred son, the hero and lover archetypes. And that alone, the name says it all. But here we go. So the hero archetype is the model of the young male vitality. He is sometimes a warrior, often an adventurer on a quest. He is courageous and strong, but in some cultures, he is depicted as the underdog. Small, unassuming, but incredibly clever and wary, and can be a bit of a trickster. Like the maiden, he is often a deity of skills and sciences. sciences. The lover is the god of youth, of renewal, of love and bliss. He is often patron of music and the arts, though he is eternal in his cycle of death. And his story is that of self-sacrifice and renewal. Therefore, he can also be considered a younger aspect of the sorcerer, lord of the underworld. One of the ideas behind Witchcraft and behind all archetypal systems really is applying the system to your own culture and place in the world. It's a concept that has really helped organize people in their spirituality. So for a hero, it would be, for Greek, it would be Ares, for Roman, Mars, African, Ogun, and for Egyptian, Horus, and for Hindu, it would be Ganesha. For our lover archetype example, it would be for German, Baldur, Irish, Agnes, and for Greek, Apollo, Roman, Apollo, and then for African, Shango, Egyptian, Ra, and for Hindu, it would be Vishnu. Again, so to count the 7 archetypes, we're going to count the maiden, number 1, the mother, number 2, the crone, number 3, the king, number 4, the sorcerer, number 5, the hero, number 6, and the lover is number 7, of course, which would be the last one. That is what we mean. So in the goddess, there is 3 archetypes, while in the god, there is 4 archetypes. And that, honestly, all of this kind of just comes to play and makes me think that it's more about phases in our lives. So when we're younger and as we're going and maturing in our as we're maturing in nature, our life cycle, basically, this is what these archetypes remind me of for God, goddess, and God, are the phases of human life and how we can learn from these archetypes to be better people. Anyway, well, there's also, let's see. So with all of this, I am glad that I read into it. Of course, I've been reading a book called The Witch School, if you haven't read it. It is a very good book, very knowledgeable. I'll go ahead and add links as to where you can get it, but it's a very good book to start as far as the Correllian tradition. And hopefully you like it as much as I do. If you don't, it's fine. But, you know, these things do kind of make sense in one shape, form, or another. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye, good night, and take care. I will talk to you guys next time. Hopefully I'll have some good stories that you guys will like. Thank you again for listening, and have a wonderful rest of your day.